What's good, people? This is SimFBallCritic. Got some Madden gameplay here for you, and this is an online ranked game. Something that I normally don't do, but I figured I'd try my luck, man, and see what kind of game I can get in. For the most part, this was a fairly decent game. Of course, I'm running with the Steelers. This guy's running with the Texans, and my first priority is to stop the running game. Put him in third and long situations, and tried my luck here, and I decided to control the linebacker. And it worked out. We'll get him in a 3rd and 13. So right now I'm going to do some man coverage here, and of course, it wouldn't work for me. Ike Taylor gets beat deep against Andre Johnson. Alright, so now this guy's continuing to drive. Lawrence Timmons makes a great play there to break up the pass in 2nd and 10. And we get some good pressure going here. But of course, a few missed tackles, missed assignments, and this guy's able to go down and get the first touchdown in the game, so he's up 7-0. So as he kicks off here to Chris Rainey, I'm looking for a seam, and there's my seam right there, and I missed it. And instead of going left, I went right. May have cost me a touchdown, as you're going to see going forward with this drive. I get a good play here with Mike Wallace, and then I'm going to try to run the ball a little bit, see if I can soften up the middle. And I'm going to get Rashad Mendenhall right up the gut here. Boom, nice 9-yard gain. Makes it 2nd and inches. So of course we're going to feed it back to Mendenhall. He's able to pick up the short yardage that we need. So we got something going here, man, on the 36-yard line. So I'm trying to go here to Heath Miller, and look what happens. I make the wrong read. Interception. This is not looking good for us early. Down 7-0. He has the ball back already. He gets Arian Foster going here for a quick 12, 13-yard gain. He runs Arian Foster again up the middle for about 5 yards. Now 2nd and 6. So now, I'm thinking we got to stop him. Got to do what we can to get some stops. Big play right there by Ryan Clark, because that could have got ugly. Alright, so it's 3rd and 6. He's able to squeak it out to the tight end. Well, that's Andre Johnson across the middle. Alright, so now, I'm not panicking or anything like that, man. I figure I still have a chance to play some good defense. As you can see, Arian Foster is being Arian Foster. He's able to take it for 8 yards. He's able to pick up this first down here for another 8 yards or so. And these guys are driving, man. They got us on their heels right here. Trying to figure out what I can do. I'm calling zone, calling man. And nothing that I do seems to work. Again, another pickup of 7 and 8 yards by Arian Foster. And this guy had a pretty good game plan, man. As you can see, Arian Foster is in beast mode. He's now on the 19-yard line, which means he's in the red zone. Feeds it to Arian Foster again. He picks up another 6 yards. It's 2nd and 5. And he's down to my 13. Alright, so gets the play action going here. And he makes a mistake. Troy Polamalu is able to pick it off. And he could go all the way. Chris Berman style, and we tie the game up 7-7. Alright, so we kick it off to him. Pretty good kick coverage here. He's only able to bring it back to the 22-yard line. And now he's back on offense. And look at this. Lamar Woodley. Much like what he did a few nights ago against the Bengals, he comes out with a huge interception, and we're feeling good right about now. So I'm going to try to get the run game going. A little misdirection by Mendenhall here. Great block by the receiver. Gets me 11 yards, and we're on the drive. It's 1st and 10 on the 14. So I figure, hey, I'm going to keep the ball in my running back's hands. This time I'm going to give it to Rainey, see what I can make happen here. See if I can get a little speed going here. Very strange juke right there. Come on, EA, you guys got to get that player movement down, man. You got to get the player movement right. It looks a little crazy. Alright, so we're able to get in the end zone, man. Chris Rainey finishes it all. And we're up 14-7. So, of course, we kick it back off to him. And once again, pretty good kick coverage. We're not allowing him to get any yards on the return. So he comes out. He's calling audibles. And he was doing this quite often in the game, man. But it didn't really affect what I was doing. I stuck to my game plan. But as you can see, Andre Johnson having a pretty solid day so far. That's his main target. So I'm going to put some purple zones out there, see if I can slow that down. And look, almost paid off. I was almost able to get another big pick. But needless to say, man, we got the bat down, so we'll deal with that. So now we got him in a 3rd and 3. And Keenan Lewis gets beat on the inside slant to Andre Johnson. It's 1st and 10 again. Huge play right there by Ryan Clark. And this guy is laid out for the count. All right, so, as you can see, guys, you can see pretty much what he's doing, man. He's running, slants. That's pretty much all he has to offer. And he hands it off here to Arian Foster. Nice pickup there on 3rd down. So it's 4th and 3, and of course, he's going for it. And once again, online ranked. This is what you get. And I'm not going to say he shouldn't have went for it there. I'm just saying, you can pretty much expect a lot of, attempts on 4th down when you play online ranked. So it is what it is. So this guy's driving pretty good right now, man. He's back down to the red zone. He's using a big dose of Arian Foster, and it's paying off very well for him. As you can see, here it is. He finishes off the drive. It's now tied 14-14. So, very good game. Leading into the half. Try to make something happen here with Chris Rainey, and I'm unsuccessful. So I'm not going to try anything crazy, man. Almost got it picked there. Trying to go across the middle. So now I decide to dump it off a little bit, and the screen gets blown up. So I'll say, okay, let me see if I can get something else happen here. Go deep, what's the worst that could happen? Interception or incomplete. And it is incomplete, so now we come up with this huge punt, which, of course, is only 18 seconds or so left. But we're able to down it down on the 1-yard line, so that prevents any attempt that this guy could possibly have before the half. So we're going to go ahead and take it into the next half. All right, so we start here in the 3rd quarter, and I get the ball back. Chris Rainey again, unable to get anything done at this moment. So I'm going to just try to work this game, man. I'm going to try to get the run game going, work the clock. Try to have a methodical drive, and miss Heath Miller over the middle there. So it's 3rd and 11. Go back to Cotry. Well, not really go back to him, but I went back to somewhat of the same pattern because it was open. And I was able to get Cotry there. And look at this. Great move by Isaac Redman to get between the defenders, but he coughed the ball up. Luckily enough, we had guys in position. And look at this. Rashad Mendenhall is able to break off a huge run to take us down to the 29-yard line. So, of course, I'm going to feed it back to my horse, man. Give it to Rashad Mendenhall. Catch this guy slipping here on the bubble screen. Able to pick up the 1st down. So it is now 1st and 10. Get an encroachment call here, which will make it 1st and 5 from the 8. So Mendenhall gets the ball again, and I take it down to the 5-yard line and give it back here to Chris Rainey, but of course he's too light to power his way into the end zone. So I decide to go back to Mendenhall, and he gets stuffed. Now 2nd and 11. I'm going to keep the ball in his hands, hand it off to him one more time, and he's able to get it in. All right, so kick it off to him. And the name of the game is good coverage like I've had all game. And now we're going to play some defense. And I pretty much figured, he would try to run a little bit, knowing that I figured he, most people would try to pass in that situation. So I'm playing to run for the most part. But, he's able to run through the defense. So now it's 3rd and 1. And the Infinity Engine almost helped me there, but he was able to break loose, so he picks up the 1st down. All right, so he comes out passing. Lamar Whitley makes a good play there to knock the ball down. Big Casey Hampton gets a sack right there. And now this guy has a screen. Boom, Ryan Clark comes up, makes a huge play right there. Nice open field tackle. Puts him in a 4th and 7. And yeah, folks, he's going for it with about 5 minutes left in the game. So this is huge right here. I'm hoping I can take the ball away from him or at least stop him. And, of course, I don't. He hits his number 1 target, Andre Johnson. And he goes down the middle again, and that was crazy. I don't know what happened right there. He should have caught it, or Troy should have tried to get the pick. Really don't know what happened there, but needless to say, I'm happy that he was unable to complete a pass. All right, so now 2nd and 10. He runs Arian Foster. And he's only able to pick, well, he actually didn't get any yards at all there, so we were able to hold him to a 3rd and 10. Passing situation. Great defense there by Curtis Brown. And, of course, folks, he's going for it again, 4th and 10. And this time he is unsuccessful. And this is pretty much going to do it for the game. As you're going to see, very strategic. I take my time. I work the clock. Name of the game is run the football. My guys are blocking great up front. I'm getting huge chunks of yardage. And I'm just going to keep feeding it to Rashard Mendenhall, man. That's how it's going to be. No need to pass it in this situation. I'm already up. Rashard is picking up 5 to 6 yards a carry. And that's what we're going to do. All right, now he has me in a 3rd and 1, and everyone in the world knows I'm going to run here. And I do. And he's unable to stop it. So we have the ball. It's 50 seconds left. We're just holding it, working the clock, playing real football. This is what you do. You don't need to take, don't need to go too fast. You take your time here. And, for some reason, he's not utilizing his timeouts. I don't know if he feels like he can't stop me or what have you. But this is pretty much how the cookie will crumble, folks. Rashard Mendenhall takes it down to the 4-yard line. And just for fun, I'm going to keep giving him the ball. And here it is. He breaks loose for another touchdown. And that's the way the game will end as I kick the squib kick here to go ahead and finish him out. So like I said, folks, man, this was a pretty good game, man. It wasn't too much cheesing or anything going on. Beside the fact that it's questionable, some of you guys could say maybe he shouldn't or should go for it in the 4th down situations that he was in. But, it is what it is. Like I said, I had a pretty good time with this guy, man. Pretty good game. So just wanted to bring it to you guys. And like always, let me know what you think.
Well, I wish I could say the same, that I enjoyed spending these last 3 hours.